Hello friends, welcome to the studio in Italy. If you're a member of the lesson site, you'll recognize this place. I've done a ton of instructional stuff here in this studio. And just in case you're wondering, I cut my finger today. Unbelievable. I was adjusting the hi-hat stand and I got it caught in the hardware here. Oh, such a pain. Anyway, these things happen. And I just want to make a little video today about a question I get asked quite a bit. So the question is, how can I tell an amateur player or someone with not a lot of experience compared to a pro? Okay, how can you tell the difference? Now these are common mistakes that guys with not too much experience, or people I should say, with not too much experience will make on the drum set. Now, one of the first things and the most important things, I think, is this. Now, when you're just starting out, you should feel the time from your body out this way. I've talked about this many times, emanating the time. Now, when the time controls you, there is a tendency to do this, okay? When you're playing, this is what happens. Bouncing up and down like that. What that does is it really inhibits your groove. It constrains your body to eighth notes, okay? That's not good at all. But unless somebody points it out, how are you gonna know that you're doing it? So what I would prefer that you do, what is better is that you feel a bigger subdivision or a wider phrase with your body, not eighth notes, okay? So one way to get out of this habit is to practice like this. Say you're doing an eighth note groove. Now I want you to sway your body in quarter notes, okay? Forward and backwards. It's just one way to start, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Preferably, you're swaying with the bass drum and not with the forward with the bass drum and not forward with the snare. Because that way, it's almost like a little more weight can go to the pedals and you become even more grounded, okay? Now, another thing you might want to do is just practice this just with your head and don't move your body, okay? Just 1, 2, 3, 4. I know it might sound weird, look weird, but it's just something to get you out of the habit of bouncing up and down like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just 1. Okay, that's something that you're going to use in the next way that I'm going to show you, right? And what it is a combination of swaying your body and doing the head movement. Okay, now you might ask, why do I need to do this? Because a lot of drumming is like dancing. And if your body is static, you're not going to groove as much or at all, right? If your body is static or you're bouncing up and down like this, the groove is going to be compromised, okay? So here's what I do a lot. 1, 2, 3. You'll notice there's a combination of things going on there. If you notice, like guys that groove really well, they even got a little bit of side thing going on. And I would say that is the secret of emanating time. It has to come from your body, and your body should be in sync with whatever you're playing, right? If you're playing samba, let's take a different groove, okay? Then it's a different way to feel the time. And I'm just gonna play a little for you so you can see. 1, 2, like this kind of thing, even though it's subtle, it's more like this. It's not up and down, okay? And constricted to short subdivisions. All right, so that's just something to think about. The next common mistake that I see is not knowing the function of the instruments, okay? Now that means orchestration. Putting cymbals where they shouldn't be, or playing in really short phrases all the time, like this. This is an example of a really short phrase. 1, 2, 3. That's basically a one-bar phrase, okay? Not knowing how to extend phrases to be in sync with the song structure, okay? So instead, I want you to do this, a very simple exercise, okay? If you're playing rock or whatever, we're gonna do a 4-bar phrase. Now, it's gonna be very simple, all right? And it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see what I did there? I just did a hi-hat opening. Now, the hi-hat opening serves as a marker in time. It marks a structure. That's why hi-hat openings are useful. It's not just so you can do a million beats. It's so you can apply these things in music, okay? Now I'm gonna do an 8-bar phrase and watch how this works, okay? See if you notice what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm closing the phrase with a crash cymbal. Now there are more subtle ways to do this. Watch how I vary the markers at different structure points, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you'll notice what I did there. 4 bars, hi-hat, marker, 8 bars, bass drum variation to mark the 8 bars. And then on the next structural, let's say marker point, you do a fill and you close the phrase with a crash, okay? So that's one of the biggest things that you need to know as a beginner drummer. You know, you should always think musically, and this is how you start to think musically on the drum set. Now, another big thing is not knowing when to go to the ride cymbal, okay? So this is something I called disorganized rock, okay? Disorganized rock beat sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. You see what it is there? Basically going to the ride for no apparent reason and going back to the hi-hat for no apparent reason, okay? It sounds disorganized, and then not being able to control your urge to change the patterns. That's disorganized rock. It can also be disorganized whatever, jazz, disorganized, samba, African, whatever, right? What you want to think about is musical structure all the time, and put your orchestration inside that structure. That's a big thing about playing musically on drums. You always want to think about music and not patterns, and not being able to control yourself and wanting to fill the sonic space with sound just because you feel uncomfortable. What that feeling is just a lack of experience and knowing how to play music. You feel like something's coming, in the music, and you just want to fill the sonic space, but what's coming is a structure that you're feeling, right? And you just have to know how to work within that structure. You probably feel that because you've been listening to music your whole life, and you feel a structure coming on, and you don't know how to handle it on the kit. Okay, so that's another big mistake. Now, another mistake that I see a lot is fills that don't belong in the styles that you're doing. Okay, so let's take a real simple example using this same groove that we're doing, like a rock type of groove. Okay, this is not a rock fill. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, just to make it real obvious, that's like a Latin type of fill against a rock groove. Now, am I saying that always doesn't fit? It really depends on the musical context, but I'm just giving you an example so you can kind of get a grasp on what this feels like, all right? Now, another thing you want to think about is what does fit. So a general rule is that if you're playing an eighth note groove, your fills also should fall within that category of subdivision. Okay, so like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, eighth notes, 16th notes at max. All right, now that's a general rule. Okay, what I don't want you to do is this. Don't do this. 1, 2, 3. That's just something you have to be real careful about when you're playing. It doesn't fit in the type of groove that we're talking about. Now, in the old days when you used to read charts, on the top of the chart, it would say eighth note groove, right? And you want to fall within the category always of being tasteful in music. So if it says eighth note groove, you're not going to do a 32nd note fill, right? You're not going to do a 16th note groove type of stuff. The composer wants that type of a feel because that's probably what the bass player's playing. The guitar player's, playing with that groove too. And everything in the song might be eighth note oriented. Okay, so now, am I saying again that this doesn't fit in any way and any musical situation? No, you just have to know these general rules so you can function better as a musician. Like I said, these are things that maybe if you don't have too much experience playing music, the most common mistakes that I hear. Okay, so remember some of the mistakes we're talking about, all right? Bouncing up and down like this instead of feeling bigger subdivisions with your body. The next thing, musical markers. When to use markers, okay? Not changing the beat every 5 seconds because you don't know what to do and you just overcome with an urge to fill the sonic space. The next thing, changing from hi-hat to ride or crashing, whatever, with no apparent reason, just because you don't know, what's going on. You're feeling a structure coming on, but you don't know how to handle it on the kit. And then doing fills that are outside of the style, genre, or musical phrasing that a song might have, okay? So I hope that helps you. And if you want to know more, join us on the lesson site. Of course, the lesson site is cranking. I'm going to be doing a lot of recording here in Italy for you. And $250 gets you into the year program with full support from me, email, WhatsApp support, video reviews, lesson plans, okay? And we're doing hand consultations, of course, always $100 for the hour on video, whatever platform you like. The Elite program is also really cranking. Just watch this next video that's coming up about the Elite program if you want to know more about it. And yeah, that's what's going on. Many greetings here from Italy at the moment. For the next month and a half, I'm going to be doing workshops and concerts here. And Drummers Intensive Day in Sardinia is coming, okay? If you want to be a part of that, just write me. Sardinia, a most beautiful island here in Italy. It's going to be an amazing Drummers Intensive Day. If you want to book a Drummers Intensive Day in your city, right now we're in Italy and Europe doing these events. So just write me here if you want to book one in your city, okay? All right, folks, just going to play you out. Have fun. See you in the next video. Hi friends, I'm here to tell you about an exciting new program I have on my lesson site. It's called the Elite program. In this program, you're going to be working with me very, very closely while I guide you through the entire site. The Elite program, why do I call it that? Because I'm searching for the most dedicated people to study this material. If you want to be a professional drummer, you're going to have to change your life. You're going to have to put drums ahead of everything. And I'm here to make sure that that decision is something that's going to benefit your life in the most positive way it can. Some websites have guest artists that come in and show you some stuff for about an hour and then they leave and you never hear from them again. You're stuck with the guys on the site that may or may not have much experience at all. In this program, you're going to be working with me directly, 3 hours a day for an entire week online, okay? We're going to be having conference online, video conference, 3 hours a day for a week. In this week, I'm going to guide you through everything, prepare you. I'm going to watch you play. I'm going to watch you practice. We're going to work together on things in the moment, okay, which is very important. Now, why the price, you may ask? Well, an online video session with me usually costs $270 for 2 hours. A private lesson with me in New York costs $100 an hour. A lot of guys charge a lot more than $100, maybe $200, $300 an hour. My price is $100 an hour. I think that's fair. So if you take that many hours with me, okay, 7 times 3, that's 21, that's $2,100. The price of the course is $1,900. So you're already saving $400 by doing it this way. $400 savings. Plus, you have the full year membership to the site with email support, Skype support, and everything else. This unique study situation has been brought about by the technology we enjoy today. Before, you would have had to travel to New York, hang out with me, come to my house,
have all those expenses of going to New York, which many guys have done. But now we can do things in a much more, let's say, efficient basis, more economical, and a way that you can be constantly in touch, not only having me in New York there while you're there. Okay, so this is, I think, an amazing opportunity to study. I've taught at some of the best drumming institutions in the world. That's not something that everybody can say. And I have all that knowledge right here waiting for you. If you're serious about your drumming, the lesson site is there. And I'm there as well, ready to make sure you get the most out of the drumming experience and having drums in your life. Okay? I hope you'll check out the Elite program. The most innovative curriculum there is comes from having the experience from teaching all over the world, drummers at every level from the highest drumming cultures on the planet. What you're going to need to participate is a way to interact with me online. You need to have a drum set up with your camera, your phone, or whatever. It has to sound halfway decent, and a good Wi-Fi connection so we have uninterrupted streaming. Now, as far as the price goes, if you use PayPal, you can break up the payments. PayPal offers you a variety of ways you can pay. You can use your credit card, and if you don't have access to those things, just write me and we'll figure out a way. But this is a very important program and I think you're gonna love it. It's not a common opportunity to study drums, so I hope you'll take it and make the best of it. All right, folks, see you on the Elite program. Peace.